Hi, this is Johan from Ganister. Today we're looking at how we will create graph views in node form tabs. So if you have a part or a document or a project, you have a form, and under this form you have tabs. Sometimes it's for relationships. We have predefined different types of tabs, and the latest one is graph view. It allows you to create a graph view in the context of a node. So for example, you want to see the whole bill of material as a graph in this tab. You can start from a part and display the whole bill of material as a graph. But it could be more than just a bill of material. It could be some relationships with projects, some relationship with a purchase request that you had entered in the system. So we'll see how we customize this. So you enter in the system as an admin, and in this part form we'll add a new tab to list more to have a graph view. So you go in gconfig here, data model, you select the parts, add a tab called graph view, and you select the content type graph view. So with this, you need to enter a Cypher query, which will fetch the data you want to retrieve, and then you need to map just to tell the software what is retrieved from this query. So the simplest query we can write is, you can use this template here. If you don't know much about Cypher, for this type of interfaces, you need to know about Cypher. Cypher is a great way to fetch data from a graph database. This is a very efficient query language, and you have some links here to get a better understanding about Cypher. So here we say our variable is P, the type of object we're in is a part, and we return P, and we say this is a node, so we return this node. If I go back here, so this is the simplest graph view that we can build. It's just returning the context node. So we go in graph view and you see I have this node. And the basic feature for now in graph view, we'll add more features in the future, but for now the basic feature is that you can right click and expand. It might pretty much be the same as if you were here and you would do this graph view that is by default in the system for every node. But this view is only fetching the direct data, related data, and that's it. So if you want to fetch more, you need to right click on another node, but you can't decide from the first load what exactly you want to fetch. Here you can do more. You can say expand. You could select some of these and remove them from the view, and you can change the design. You can say, okay, I want it top down or left right. Okay. So let's get back to this, and we'll do a first evolution to get the bit of material. So let's say we want not the full bill of material, but we will say we want a few more elements. So we'll say we want, through the relationship called, so the relationship is called partBond, but the name in the database, and you can retrieve it here, it says consumes. So we say consumes, so let's start with just one level. And it returns other parts. So let's say like this. Let's set it like this. C and B. So we return all these values. C is a relationship, and B is another part. Okay. So if you refresh this, I think you can even just refresh this. So now when you load it directly, you get this first level. If we wanted a second level, we can say And even if there's no subparts, you may want to start by 0, just allowing to return a result even if there's no child. So I would say 2 levels. And I think these ones, so it's going 2 levels down, but through the consumes relationship. When we did this earlier, it was not through the same relationship. So we can do this, or we could say, okay, I want all the files also. So potentially not every part has a file. So we'll say optional match B, and for whatever relationship, we'll look for F as file. So you have F and R. So we may have entered something that we don't have. Yeah, here we didn't return the right value. So I'll just say R and F. Okay. So now every time there's a file attached, it returns this file. This is quite simple, and you can go on with this. So let's check if there is a document. So we can do optional match. Same thing. From B will return a document. So we can do R2, and here D document. This time we don't forget to return these values. And here we'll say, so the nodes D and relationship R2. So I guess there's no document here, but if we attach a new document, let's open this by double click. And we'll attach an existing document. Hopefully there's one. Let's attach this one. And go back here. And you see we get the document attached. So this is a very simple example. You don't necessarily have to start from this context node. You could start from something else. You can have conditions like, I don't know, search for all the projects that have in their name something like this reference and fetch any data. This is just depending on the Cypher queries that you're entering here. So any type of data you want to fetch here, and as long as you return the right nodes and relationship or path and type them in here, it will just fetch the whole data set and return it as a graph here. And it's quite convenient if you want then to expand, if you want to adapt the view, if you want to double click on something to open it. This is quite efficient. And this could be a nice tool to do some digital thread analysis. If you want to call it differently, call it, I don't know, requirements, maybe from a support part or an instantiated part, a physical a representation of a physical part that has been delivered to a customer, and maybe you want to retrieve the requirements, and so you would easily retrieve the whole thread through a graph in here, and it would be easy to navigate. So this is the first example. There's going to be more videos about this capability, which can be really extended. So stay tuned for more on this topic, and let us know what may be interesting to add in this feature. Stay tuned and talk to you next time.